Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. The Viking here, of course, and I'm a little tired today because I was up late last night watching Zack Snyder on the League of Mayhem stream. It's okay for all you Americans, you can stay up as late as you want, and late for you is probably 9, 10 or 11 o'clock, but for us in Europe and where I am, I was up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock watching Zack Snyder's stream, and it was pretty interesting. And you know what, I couldn't sleep after. I was too pumped, my adrenaline was going, and I was just excited from all the stuff that Zack Snyder had talked about and showed us in this stream. So let's break it all down. So Zack Snyder talked about this t-shirt design that they never got to kind of publish and put out there with ink to the people. It was a dark side one with a quote from the movie in the back. Now some of the panelists tried to push Zack a little bit to see would he say the quote, but he didn't play to it. But very coincidental, when the stream was going on, people found the actual shirt on Ink to the People. Darkseid was on the front with a pretty cool design, and you can see it there now. I love the red eyes. His biceps, his triceps are absolutely huge. They're putting me to shame, but I wouldn't like to see Ben Affleck's Batman go up against Darkseid. He's going to get his ass handed to him big time, but it's a pretty cool t-shirt, and the quote in the back is epic. I absolutely love it. The quote is, "All of existence shall be mine." Now Ray Porter will say it way better than I will, but that's a pretty epic line, you know. It's putting Thanos to shame. And no offense, but I'm only playing. But the quote is pretty cool, and I can't wait to see what context that quote comes into play. Is he saying it before he kills someone? Is he saying it to Superman? Is he saying it to Lois Lane? Who is he actually saying it to? That's the context I want to understand. Is he saying it to D-Side, Steppenwolf? Is he just talking to himself? I'm sure when it is, when we do see it in the episodes, it's going to be pretty cool. But that's not the only kind of alien per se that we got to see. We got to see a look at Martian Manhunter, and now Harry Lennox, we didn't know he was Martian Manhunter in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, but that was the point. His character didn't want anyone to know who he was. He wanted to protect his identity, and he did a pretty good job to it because Zack Snyder never told Harry Lennox, kinda, and we didn't really know. So it was interesting when Zack Snyder told us that Harry Lennox is actually his Martian Manhunter. So we know that Harry Lennox a few weeks ago did his additional photography. I DM'd the guy, his friend, who put it up on his story, and he said to me it was true, so I believed him because I don't see why he would lie to me in the direct message. But it was cool. I did a video about that as well. But he has his scenes done, and I wonder, is he going to be in 1 scene, 2 scene, 3 scenes? I wonder, did Zack Snyder do a little bit more than he wanted to do in 2017, because he's been given episodes, he's been given more money, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, Harry Lennox will play Martian Manhunter, and this look, it looks a bit like the Justice League Unlimited animated series look. It really, really does. And he looks a bit jacked as well. I don't know if it's hard to see in the actual image because the high resolution is not there, but it looks like he kind of has big arms and stuff like that, but I'm sure he will look pretty accurate, pretty good. You can say what you want about Zack Snyder, but his look of the characters have always been brilliant. Look at Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. The look is just peak. And even Jason Momoa, who brought something new to the character, but I know there's incarnations that's kind of starting to use his look as Aquaman, but I think it's perfect. And I think Jason Momoa is the perfect incarnation for that character right now. And then Ray Fisher playing Cyborg as well. It's all pretty good stuff. But it was cool to get our first kind of official look at Martian Manhunter. And I wonder, will we get to see any look of him in the trailers or TV spots on the build-up? I hope it's kept a surprise, because it was always supposed to be a surprise. But of course, circumstances have changed now, and we'll finally get to see that. Now, speaking of Jason Momoa, Zack Snyder had told us that he considered Jason Momoa for Batman. Now, some people were saying we knew this from before. I don't know if I just forgot, but it's probably the first time I've heard about this. Jason Momoa was considered for Batman. He read for Batman. Ben Affleck had kind of accepted, but it was still, they weren't too sure yet. And Jason Momoa had read. And even Zack said he had a picture of Jason in the cowl or holding the cowl. That's an image I definitely want to see. But imagine that, Jason Momoa as Batman. And it goes a lot to say what Zack Snyder wanted in his interpretation of this character. He wanted a big guy. But I think Ben Affleck was perfect, because Ben Affleck has that kind of seasoned, old, torn look to him. He really, really does. Jason Momoa looks a bit more cleaner in terms of just how his skin is and stuff like that. But Ben Affleck, he just looks like a worn out Bruce Wayne. I think it's perfect casting that way. And also Ben can bring in some of his personal life into that character as well in certain ways, you know what I mean? So, but Jason Momoa, it all worked out in the end. He's a perfect Aquaman. Ben Affleck is a perfect Batman. But it's pretty cool that Jason Momoa was considered for the Batman. But You can see that Zack always gets these unknown kind of actors for these roles. You got Henry Cavill, who's now a mega star, Ray Fisher, unknown, Ezra Miller, kind of unknown, Jason Momoa was unknown. But I think you needed to go with a big actor for Batman because, for one, it's Batman, and two, it's an older Batman who has been in Gotham for 20 years. So you needed an actor that the audiences knew, and Ben Affleck has been around for a very long time. So that was pretty cool. And now, the OMG moment for me in this stream, and I want to thank Amanda for saying this question to Zack Snyder. She goes to Zack, can I throw a casting at you, an actor that would you work with them or not? And Zack goes, yeah, sure, ahead, go ahead. And Amanda goes, Shia LaBeouf. And Zack Snyder, my favourite director, talking about my favourite actor, says, in a second he would work with Shia LaBeouf. And I was jumping up and down the room. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to see, because my fan casting for Red Hood is Shia LaBeouf. It really is. I think the psychological battle that is there could be done brilliantly with Shia LaBeouf in the role. Unbelievable. He's stayed away from the big franchises like the Spielberg movies and the Michael Bay Transformers. He's gone to more indie character studies of films, and they've been absolutely brilliant, and his performances have really gotten better over the years. And I think he is an underrated actor, but he's very controversial as well. But I think he would be perfect for Red Hood. And if Zack Snyder ever wanted to do a Red Hood storyline, I think Shia LaBeouf would be absolutely perfect. But I will take this as an exclusive in some degree, that Shia LaBeouf will appear in the Snyderverse at some stage in time. Now, that's probably unlikely, but that's just the hope I'm going to hold on to, because I would love to see Shia LaBeouf in a big franchise DC film. I know he stays away from the DC films, but I think if you went to him with a really good script, and maybe David Ayer as the director, that's always been my choice. Him as Red Hood and David Ayer to direct. The two of them worked brilliantly together before in the past. I think the two of them reuniting would absolutely be outstanding. Absolutely. So hopefully that happens. Now, another actress that Zack Snyder has worked about and talks fondly about is Carla Gugino. Now, Carla was in Watchmen, of course, and whenever she pops up in movies or TV shows, I'm always really interested. For one, she's a very beautiful woman, but she's also a very brilliant actress, and I'd love to see her in the DC universe. And Zack Snyder always works with his actors. Again, of course, Patrick Wilson was the voice of the President in Batman v Superman, which is pretty cool, and then he appeared in Aquaman as King Orm. So yeah, if Carla, many people have had Carla as their fan cast for Catwoman for years, for Ben Affleck's Batman, and she would be a brilliant choice, don't get me wrong. My fan cast has always been Ben Affleck's girlfriend right now, Ana de Armas. I think she'd be brilliant as well, but if it was Carla, unbelievable. Zack said, yeah, she'd be a great choice for the role. So maybe if the Ben Affleck series does happen, Carla could be the one that Zack Snyder suggests to Ben Affleck. Look, she'd be a brilliant Catwoman. But I also think that Ben Affleck would go with his now girlfriend, Ana de Armas. She's beautiful also. I think would be a pretty good Catwoman. She was actually my choice for the Robert Pattinson Catwoman, but maybe it might work out for the Ben Affleck HBO Max series or movie if that happens and Zack Snyder's Justice League is a success. Now, the last part I was really interested in. Zack Snyder, of course, has these kind of binders, these books of storyboards for every single movie. We got to see it in the Man of Steel watch party, the Batman vs Superman watch party. Books where he just writes all of his storyboards in. He said whatever he draws, he shoots. So any piece that goes into those books, he always shoots them for his film. He showed us the iconic opening to the Watchmen film, the Bob Dylan song playing, and those amazing shots and scenes going on throughout the history of American history, the JFK assassination, the ending of the war, the Studio 54, things like that. Absolutely brilliant. And Zack has them drawn out perfectly, and they look exactly how they look in his book, like they do in the big screen, and it's absolutely amazing. Also, another thing that Zack Snyder did in those books was that he had cuttings from articles and newspapers that kind of inspired him, or ideas that he had, and put them beside those scenes. Those storyboards, I want to get my hands on those books. They look absolutely fascinating. If Zack Snyder ever published them, that would be an interesting read. And anytime Zack Snyder talks about his filmmaking formula, I'm just engaged. It makes me inspired. It makes me want to do something, whether it be a YouTube video, do something myself, write something. It just inspired me a lot, and I loved it so much. But guys, that was an amazing stream last night. So much information, and very educational to understand Zack's kind of point of view to things, and also his opinion. And then we got to look at Darkseid and Martian Manhunter. But oh guys, and also I forgot to talk about this. Zack Snyder was referencing in the stream a guy who said he needs to stop reading The Dark Knight Returns so much, the Frank Miller comic book, because he takes too much from those type of stories, or maybe just is not faithful enough to it. I didn't actually see those tweets myself, but I seen Jay Olivia going to Zack's defense, and then Zack's kind of argument to that was he would love to do a Dark Knight Returns one-off film with an older Batman again. How crazy would that be? Someone older than Ben Affleck's Batman. Because for me, I love that animated film that J. Olivia did it. The comic is absolutely brilliant. But I always thought that the Batman v Superman movie was kind of a tribute to that movie. They kind of took a lot of things from that, the Batman v Superman fight, and also the older Bruce Wayne. But again, to see Zack Snyder tackle that kind of story again, but being even more faithful to that comic, that would be pretty interesting. He was so faithful to the Watchmen comic back in the day as well in 2009 when he did that film. It's so accurate. It's like frame by frame, brilliant. He changed the ending a little bit, but it probably made sense to a degree. But I would love to see him do an older Batman again up against Superman. Like, how cool would that be? Who would he cast? Who would you guys cast for an old Bruce Wayne? Michael Keaton's kind of taken. He can't really come back for that type of story right now. But could Ben Affleck, could they age him up a bit and let him do it again? Man, anytime Zack Snyder or Ben Affleck wanted to give us a Batman adaptation, I'm all in. But I found that very interesting that he would love to do a one-off story of that comic book. He loves it so much. But guys, let me know your thoughts on all the stuff that we got to see last night in that stream. Very good stream. I really enjoyed it. 2 hours Zack Snyder stayed there, so that's pretty cool as well. I wasn't expecting to stay that long. He talked about so many things. But guys, get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Give a like and subscribe if you already hadn't. I really appreciate it. And if you guys want to follow me on social media, it's all in the description. Go hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, and let's talk about the one thing we love, which is movies, man. Enjoy your night.